Navigating your way through the ascension process is never easy, and in most cases is tremendously confusing and concerning. Vibe Nation radio hosts Carrie Turcotte and Dean Thomas lift the veils of illusions and speak plain and simple truth about what is really going on. Each week, they will guide you through the latest energy shifts and discuss essential tools to help you on your journey. They will be joined regularly by fellow soul family members who will have a skill or topic to discuss that is important to share. At the end of each show, they tap into the energies of the listeners and see what Spirit has to share with you for the week ahead. If you really want to get to know who you truly are, come and join us now on Vibe Nation Radio, here on the IOM Radio Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Vibe Nation Radio, where Dean and I will help you discover your inner keys to unlock your truth. And this week, I am so excited to talk about what we're talking about, listening to your higher self. We know that Carrie likes to do that all the time, don't we, Dean?
Oh, yes, for sure. I think my higher self is coming through right now. I think I'm up in the clouds with you tonight.
You got to love it. And one thing we're going to do with this show is that as a medium, obviously I can get into higher self fairly quickly and be there for quite some time. And I've been doing this all my life, where Dean has been more grounded and is now getting in tune with his higher self even more powerfully. So we're going to be able to talk to you on two different ways here for those who actually fly high in this energy and those that can actually stay grounded most of the time, which is what Dean does.
It's quite cool down in this world, you know. Sometimes.
So today we want to talk about, how important it is to be able to listen to your higher self and to be able to just quiet the mind and really listen to what it's saying to you, because what's going on this week, my friends, is we're going through the first solar eclipse season. And what's connected to this solar eclipse season, without getting too deep into it, is there's a lot of karmic energy that we're being asked to unlock or unchain or release in order to be able to go into this new. Because we're at a pivotal time in universal history right now where we are truly breaking free from the old templates, the old stories. The last chapter of your book should be closed by now, my friends, and you should be writing the first chapter of the new book of your life, of who you are now. And, we want to ensure that through today's show that, it's beautiful to be able to get up there and get into 5D land and co-create all this stuff. But you have to be realistic and use the energies that are coming through right now and ground yourself into 3D reality. So sometimes, you can go into fantasy land too long and it's going to cause more damage than good. Believe me, I see it all the time.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I know that the energies, particularly over the last 2 to 3 days, have been really drawing the core of the onion to the surface to identify issues that maybe you're repeating, really self-analysis, looking at yourself. Where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And there's a lot of confused cookies out there that are really struggling with this dynamic change that's occurring. And we keep saying that this is all new. It is new. Even teachers like myself, we do struggle from day to day with everyday living, and we do struggle with the energies. And I would be lying if I sat here and said that I don't also have to deal with it, because I do. And the fact that I live with my 2 daughters also, I witness it firsthand, how it affects the children. And they too are also being asked to question everything. And just before we came on air, I was having a very deep conversation about Christianity in the Catholic Church, which was very deep for my 13-year-old daughter to be talking about. And she started to question all that she's being taught. And, one of the things I promote with my children is you make a decision when you feel that it's right for yourself, not to follow this template of what your parents or your grandparents have said, that this is how it should be. Because she's really concerned because she needs to go to church for confirmation and all of this stuff. And I said, no, you don't have to do this. You do what you feel is right inside of you, and you make that decision when you are educated enough and when you feel that the time is right, if that decision is right for you. And this is really the child, my daughter, tuning into her higher self. listening to what's coming down from the universe.
Yes.
And bringing that inner truth and bringing that old template of what you believe is truth to the surface and question it.
Yes.
And you supplement that with what you feel. And there is a distinct difference between reality, living in 3D. A lot of people can't stand to live their life on feelings. Empaths like myself, and I know Carrie also, we live our life on feeling and sense. We don't necessarily pay too much attention to what external forces say. We can judge people by just looking at them or by interacting with them, and we feel their energy, whether it's a good vibe or not. And your higher self is much the same. It will ask you to question certain things. And when you start to question so many things, your brain is struggling to process all of this information.
Yes.
And one of the most important things I try to teach my daughters is to forget about yesterday, forget about tomorrow, live in the here and now, and go outside and go to ground and sit there and ponder what you're thinking. And if you're struggling with it, write it down and then come back to it another day, because what you're feeling is the pull of the energies from the planets. Mm-hmm. And there's one thing that I know that is real, and these are the planets. The universe is tangible, it's real. Anything else is what I decide is real for myself. It's my truth, the same as everybody else on this planet.
Mm-hmm. And when I had a girlfriend that just showed up unexpectedly, like half an hour ago, she comes in, she actually has a key, and she lets herself in, and she's like, "Shh, are you on the radio yet?" And I said, "No, not yet." She's like, "Okay, I need to talk to you about what's been going on in the last week." And she's a very dear sister of mine, soul sister. I've known her since I was 5, so all of my life. And it's interesting because she has really been off of social media and working on herself over the last week. But she came in and she's like, "Oh, and my higher self saying this and my higher self saying that. And I have to let go of this in order for the new to come in. And if I don't," I said, "Girlfriend, you're right on mark with what's truly going down right now, because you're listening to your higher self, because really that's what higher self is telling all of us. You know, this is about you going in and listening to what's going on within you, not someone else. You know, sure, you'll be pulled because everyone, I mean, even people who are teachers, we have teachers too. No one, again, this is all new. And again, we all work with one another, and the channels are getting stronger, those that are true channels. And all the messages at the end of the day are the same. It's how they actually say their message to other people. So, you know, just understand that when you're going through this process right now and connecting with higher self, when you're drawn to something to read, to watch, whatever, ensure that you are resonating with that which the message is being said. Because if you start to doubt in any way, or your vibrations get lowered in any way, please know that's just not your soul path. Okay? That there's just so many people right now that are being pulled in a gazillion different ways, and they're getting more confused. If they would just stop and just close their eyes and focus on their breath for 30 seconds, you know, you would be able to come back and balance. Because if you're out there and you're reading this and reading that, you are being pulled into 5D energies, because some of this stuff that it's all 5D. It's not taking that 5D energy and explaining to people that we tap into this energy, and yet we have to come back and actually use it in our 3D reality. And that's why we're saying to people, and you know, this week, we don't want you to get lost in la la land, especially during the energies that are taking place on the planet right now, because many, many, many are starting to float away. And anyone who's got any strong water signs are being affected by this. We've talked about the Scorpios and the Sagittarius going through a total recycle or rewiring over the next 6 months. You know, those people that are extremely intuitive or empath, or people who are mediums, you know, you're going to feel this energy that much more. And it's important to keep yourself grounded when you go into that state of mind. And if you're there for too long, you need to ensure you come back. Too many people get up there and they live there. And it's causing more damage than good. And some people too, when they're waking up as well, I find that they wake up and they're like this jack out of the box going, "Woohoo, I'm awake, I'm alive, I can see clearly now." And they dive into so much stuff and they go into information overload. And what ends up happening is they've peeled the onion too quickly, and they're going to do more damage than good. And when you peel an onion too quickly, what do? You cry. This is what will happen, because we're going into the soul, and the soul has got emotions connected to it. And not too many people realize that, you know, these feelings or these lower vibrations that are holding you back feed from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. But in this course of where we're going right now, I don't believe that spirit will take you into too many past lives if you haven't dealt with what's going on in this lifetime. Because again, that's peeling the onion way too quickly for you to be able to tap into that higher wisdom and knowledge, because in order to get to the wisdom and knowledge, you have to go through the dark or let go of the lower vibrations to get there. So just, everyone, just know that this is about your journey, and we're all on this, we're being given this new book, and it's a book about you and about where you're going and your perspective. And again, don't allow other people's perspectives to change your perspective, because way too often people look into that kaleidoscope and say, this is where I'm going. And then they read something or watch a video, and that kaleidoscope has now changed pictures because of what somebody else has said. So, and it will throw you off course. And obviously it's divinely timed that, you're going to get pulled to the safe frequency. But there's somebody coming through, as you can probably tell. As we're going through, as people get pulled to these frequencies, that if you're not used to the frequencies, again, it's just going to cause damage, my friends. So please don't try and dive in and be some guru in 5D land if you don't know what you're doing. Because again, you'll go into fantasy land for way too long, and you'll love it up there. Believe me, Carrie knows it's great to be up on the higher vibrations all the time. And it's Carrie land, but Carrie land has to come into 3D reality land at the same time. So, as a medium, I don't like to do readings every single day, because it's not healthy for me to have the channel on 24/7. I live on this planet too. And if I can get lost, I know that many of you can too. So I'm just trying to say, find your string, my friends, and make sure you keep yourself grounded.
Right on time for a commercial. There you go.
Woo! See, the spirits knew we were going to. I just opened up my eyes, and here we go. So we'll be back in a moment, guys, and see what Spirit has to say next. Enjoy.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Millisers, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Have you ever wondered what is blocking your greatest prosperity in any aspect of your life? Do you know that in this moment, you're actually creating your own reality? At New One Universe, we know how to access those programs, and we offer a radical way to clear and release the negative blocks and reset your soul blueprint. Come join us at newoneuniverse.org, Facebook/New One Universe.
Vibe Nation Radio is brought to you by Carrie Turcotte and Dean Thomas. Each week, we bring a refreshing outlook to lifting the veils of illusion that occur in our daily lives. We will share our own learnings and personal experience that allow others to understand who they truly are.
At the end of each show, Carrie will be tapping into the listeners' energies just to give an idea of what to expect for the week ahead. So join us each Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and together we will discover the inner keys that will unlock the true you.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids.
Didn't I just use that in the last Vibe Report?
I think so.
But it was the Tigger on steroids, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which
Keeping things in balance, Carrie,
Yeah, it's very interesting. I just want the listeners to know, those that don't know me, I do have a dear soul brother in spirit who has shown up. He's been hanging out with me for a couple of days now, doing some work with me. So say hello to Bradley, everyone. And he's basically saying that we need to talk about balance and how it's important to keep balance in our life, and it's in very many different ways. So first of all, when you balance, ensure that your giving and your receiving is very much matched, because those that are in a higher realm or seem to be in that loving, caring vibe, they have a tendency of giving way too much of their energy to other people. And you're breaking the flow there, my friends. You have to ensure that the flow of giving and receiving is balanced. It's the same as that is what is above is also below. If you're flying high too much, you're going to float away. And if you're grounded too much and not tapping into these frequencies, that's where the lower vibrations are going to get the best of you, or the boys will be able to knock you around, or the ego, really fast.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed recently, since I've sort of come in touch with my 5D perspective of life, is how spirit tends to come through in dream communication. These dreams, these past few days have been very vivid, very lucid, and really, I'm balancing my life. I'm balancing my life against what I've done previously to where I am today, and I've carefully analyzed in my reality world of where I am today, and have I repeated some of the things that I've done previously, or have I repeated them with a different outcome? And I think looking at life today, 90% of what I've done is all new, and that's a good tick in the box. We're not going to get everything right first time round. It certainly takes a lot of work and a lot of methodology. There you go, methodology. There's a big word. On getting things into perspective and balance. And Rowan Atkinson driving his Mini Cooper just came through my mind for some reason. Mr. Bean, a very humorous perspective on life. And when we're looking at life in general, it is to really feel. It's having these feelings in balance. If you're as cold as ice, and I wrote a song about that too, you have no perspective you have no sense of feeling. If you open your eyes and you can feel the sun rays beating down on you, you can hear and feel the birds singing outside. This is a good balance. If you mix what you do on a day-by-day basis with nature and with your day-to-day routine, this is balance, and it's keeping things relative, so the scales are there. They're not going from one extreme to another extreme, and that takes a lot of practice.
Yes. And
one of the things that I do know about this process is that it is all trial and error, and we will tend to go back into what we've done previously in our lives and say, I've done this before. I don't really know what I'm going to do next. Or you're going to make a clear decision. If you're going to make a clear decision, this is basically reverting back to an old pattern. If you allow yourself to walk through it, allow the energies to flow through you, allow the decisions to flow through you, eventually your higher self will communicate with you in a way that you know that this is the right way to go forward. And you're not influenced by external Arthur and Martha gossiping behind your back. Really, you listen to yourself, and your mind is open to any possibility, not all probabilities. And this is, I think, we see this big, I can only call it propaganda campaign in the States right now promoting the next president. But who really cares about who the next president is going to be? There's a lot more interesting things going on around the world as it is. What's going on in my front garden, or what's going on in my back garden? What's going on in my kitchen sink? These are far more important than what's going on in the presidential elections. And people are bombarded and saturated with so much nonsense, so much disinformation and misinformation, that it's very difficult to decipher the truth. And this is when people begin to read so much information on social media. They believe that it should be this way because 25 million people said it should be this way, and there's only one guy saying it should be the other way. I would tend to listen to the one guy that's sitting there and saying, well, it should be this way, really, because you don't want to be a sheep, you want to be a shepherd.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, really. Stand out from the crowd, and don't be afraid to stand out from the crowd to make a decision that's right for you.
Yeah.
Not for keeping everybody else happy.
Yeah. Well, and balancing the heart and mind is really what we're doing right now. And with people that I'm working with, the rewiring of that's taking place in them right now is really, I feel that this is the most challenge that people are facing right now, is this rewiring process, that especially because we've always done it this way. And now we're being told it's not. You have to see it to believe it. You have to believe it to see it. And for many, that rewiring is very difficult to do, where, in certain situations, depending on what's going on, your higher self will kick in, but then the ego will jump in and take over. And it's not like you're taking that higher self and balancing that information through the heart to speak that which you truly desire. So, just know that the boys are out in full force, my friends, which I call the ego. And it's just because we are at a fresh new, and with this eclipse season that's taking place, we're being given an opportunity to a brand new, book in our life. And I can't express how important this is. And it might be like we're going down a water slide, is what I've been talking about with the Vibe Report. And it's dark and it's scary and you can't see where you're going, but don't worry about it. You're going through this soul rewiring process. And it's a process, my friends. It's not something that happens overnight. That by the end of the month, you will not be who you are today. That, through what you go through, there's also going to be a beautiful present waiting for you at the end of the month. However, this is where you're going to be able to have to get in tune with your higher self and say, I embrace the unknown, knowing that whatever it is that you're about to give yourself at the end of the month is already predetermined. So don't allow the boys to come out and say, well, I want this, or I want that. Or maybe you already feel, because you're already that much connected, what it is that's about to take place, but don't allow yourself to figure out how you're going to get that. Because, my friends, I feel this is a test for all of us right now to be able to stop and live in the moment and embrace what is truly going on all around you, and not to worry about the past, because the old chapter, the old chains, they're coming off, my friends. Take the golden nuggets and gems, which are the beautiful vibrations that you have from the past, and say, okay, I had to do the song and dance, and I did the cha-cha with them, and I did the tango with them, but look what I got out of that. Thank you so much, and thank you for that 3D soul contract, and see you later. Bye-bye. We'll reconnect when the time comes, when we're both on the other side. Because again, we know these people are in our lives for a reason. They're here to help shift us, regardless if they come into the new book or not. So I just feel this is a time where many are balancing many different things. And again, most of it has to do relationships. Is this a relationship with your career? Is this a relationship with your parents or your siblings or your friends or your coworkers? Or, if you're a twin, are you trying to figure out what's going on with your beloved? Or if you're not and you're just trying to figure out yourself, you got to find the balance there. And the balance comes between the heart and the mind. So I just feel that what Bradley's trying to say here, sorry, he's coming in really loud. So many people have already made the choice of this new book where they're going. However, their words, their thoughts, and their feelings, which is the dynamic trio, is not in place. So to be able to release yourself from this karmic energy is almost impossible, because you might be thinking you are released, or you might be feeling, but your words aren't matching or your thoughts aren't matching. So just be aware of this. It's coming in very strongly. And I just feel that over the next 24 hours, 48 hours, there's going to be really sharp messages that your higher self is going to give to you. And it's going to be like a reality love slap or a love kick in the face, depending of, how much the universe has to wake you up. But I feel that this is going to be a wake-up call for you to say, you know what? I do need to let go of this. I can't believe I just allowed the boys to get the best of me again. But again, we're human. Remember that. We're a soul living a human experience. So we have emotions, we have feelings, and we have an ego. And ego's always, always, always going to be with you, my friends. It's not going anywhere. So you have to embrace the ego and know that the ego can be your friend if you truly know how to work, because that ego can help you stay grounded. Okay, so, and if you're up in 5D land too much, the ego, especially if, with this rewiring that's taking place, he's talking about, I think last week he talked about change up your schedule. Whatever you do in the morning, have you switched it around? Have you started to change things? Because that will play with the psyche, and the ego will be like, wait a second here. This is not what we do every morning. Then you're going to have to, the ego's going to have to pay attention. And for them to actually, your ego to grab your attention and actually bring your vibrations down, it's going to be a lot more difficult, because they don't know how to play with the new you, because you're rewiring too. So do know that the ego has a big part of the triggers and repeated patterns, because that's old energy. So as you get into the new energy, you're going to find that the boys or the ego does not control you as much, because you can embrace the unknown. And like they're saying about at the end of the month, that Prezi's going to be there for you. It's just, are you going to get it or not? Depends on how you work with these vibrations or how you navigate through the next couple of weeks, because we have to get into balance of who we truly are. And it's not an easy thing to do. A lot of emotions, a lot of crying. You might get frustrated. You might get angry. You know, I tell people, just go in your car, blare the music, and start screaming at the top of your lungs if you have to yell. You know, line up your pillows in your bedroom and start kicking them if you need to get anger out. You know, this is stuff you want to work through, and your higher self is allowing you to understand this so that you can move forward to where we're going. Because again, if you're not opening up that new book of life right now, my friends, you're doing yourself a disfavor. So, and just don't go too deep is what they're saying, meaning that focus on the here and now. If something comes up, then deal with it. You know, if you have to do another eviction, do an eviction. If you have to focus on puffing up their golden nuggets and gems, do so. But do know it's showing up to be able to get you back in track to where you're going. And they're going back to that whole record thing, that your needle might have come off the record, but the universe is going to give you a reality slap and a love slap to get you back on your record, to get you back in tune, in the groove to where you are going right now. So, anything you want to add in there? I know we're about to go to commercial in a moment.
I think after the commercial, I've got some interesting things to talk about. But I think one of the things that we see tomorrow is we see a new moon tomorrow, the 8th or 9th, depending on where you are in the world. But a few hours after the new moon, we have an eclipse, and this is something intrinsic. This is something very, very powerful. And you know, I was writing an article today about, and we'll continue after the break. But we'll talk about setting yourself on autopilot after the break, I think.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio, IOM-FM.
Hey ladies, do you want to have that good hair day feeling all the time? Gentlemen, would you want your special someone to have that glow, letting you know she's feeling completely satisfied? This feeling and that glow can be yours by embracing your sexual power. So join me, Rachel Kenley, award-winning romance author, on the O-Spot. The O-Spot will guide you to that peak with guest interviews, book discussions, and conversations on the thrills of sexual empowerment. Put the zing back in your life. Come up and see me sometime on the O-Spot, live on Hump Day at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Being a radio host on IOM-FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the Internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Are you seeking an alternative way to heal your mind, body, and soul? Reiki can be the answer for many of you. Whether through touch or remote transfer of powerful universal life energies, we can activate the natural processes to help you restore the perfect balance in your life. As an Usui Reiki master, I can help you to realize your full potential with immediate result. Find me through Facebook for further details at Triple Goddess Healing.
Hi, this is Julie Geigel.
I'm Maggie Chula.
And I'm Catherine Glass.
And we're the Psychic Angel Channelers. Join us every week here on OMTimes Radio for Angel Talk Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
The angels have heard your call and are here to help.
Are you ready to receive?
Remember your magnificence with Angel Talk Tuesday.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio, IOM-FM.
Well, here we are back again. Struggling to get through this energy, I think, without laughing.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because Bradley just showed up again, and he was.
Oh my Lord!
He was making me laugh because he's going to walk away for a few minutes, and he said he'll come back when I do the reading after the next break, and we're going to do a small, short little meditation, my friends, brought to you by the channel of Bradley.
Cool. It'll be interesting. But just before the break, I mentioned about setting ourselves on autopilot, and one of the things that that is quite profound in the way that technology is evolving these days is that there are these driverless cars driving around. And whilst it's a new technology, people will begin to accept it that this is the way forward. So whilst we're flying around the world, we know that the pilots aren't flying the plane all the time and the ships aren't sailing by their captains, it's being sailed by autopilot. Cars will also be the same. And this is very tough for us as humans to accept that this is a safe mode of transport. But believe me, in 15 to 20 years' time, it'll be run of the mill. We won't be driving our cars. So what I'm saying to you guys is to switch your life into autopilot, to meander, to stop thinking, to allow everything to come through you and to allow yourself to really go with the flow. And I think, it goes back to the 60s and 70s with the mamas and papas and the hippie parade. But this was a really cool time to be because it was all about love, feeling the love, enjoying the love, and participating in love and a love celebration. And this is what we need to be going back to. And, I'm not an ambassador of the lifestyle that a lot of hippies lived, but it was certainly a time of peace. And it was certainly a time of questioning the authoritarian regimes around the world. And it was allowed us to reflect on what we're really here for. And we are here, to enjoy our lives and not to be a servant to anyone. And we are here to love. And we're here to love one another unconditionally. And one of the things, I can go back to our first radio show. How many of you took that picture? How many of you can look at that picture and accept who you are? That is the one person in the world that you need to start loving first. And that is yourself. Learning to love yourself is a skill, it's an art, and it's a process. And you really need to get rid of all of this baggage. And with the energies of the moons, we're predominantly made of water. Science has been trying to prove for years that we're not affected by the influence of the moon. We must be, because the tides are. The tides are affected, the water levels are higher when there's a new moon and a full moon. And this spring season now, we have this wonderful series of bores that are going down rivers. Waves are going down rivers. And this is an analogy that we can relate to, that what's going through in our life now. And I know that the new moon's in Pisces. This is another significant energy to look at. We are being we're being squeezed like an old mango. This is something I referred to yesterday when I was speaking to somebody. You feel like your body is being put through one of these mangles before the automatic washing machine, when your grandma was out on the terrace winding away and putting the washing through this mangle to squeeze the last drops of water out. This is what's happening to us. And it's very easy to walk away and say, I'm done with it. But at the end of the day, do you really want to go back to doing what you used to do? Or are you willing to wait a little bit longer, to go through the self-analysis, to go through the self-criticism, to go through the self-doubt, to create a beautiful being at the end of this wonderful period of the next month? Because this is what we're being called to do. And many will choose to go through that path of persevering, to have faith, and to have belief in themselves. And if you know somebody that's going through awakening that's around you, and you can see that they're struggling, reach out and help them. Don't be afraid to help them. This is balance. This is about giving something out to get something back. And no matter what it is, whether it's to help a guy on the street who's struggling with his life, or to help a neighbor who's not had any visitors for months and months, reach out and help somebody. Touch somebody with your life, and touch somebody with your light, and you'll be amazed at what comes back. And this is part of the balance also. You are light beings, you are light workers, you are beautiful souls, and you have this love built up inside of you. Now it's time to transmit this love out, because you've got used to loving yourself. And this is this is now what we're being called to do. Go and share it and allow the goodness to come back to you in tenfold. The universe gives back in tenfold. Yeah. And you will appreciate all of these words that Carrie and I have said to you over the last four weeks, because what we're saying is not happening just to us. It's happening to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that are around the world today. You're not the only one.
Billions. We all are.
Yes.
Sorry. I just had to jump in on there because I do know that, again, when we're going through this, when you start to tap into your higher self will repeat the same message over and over and over again. A lot of people don't understand if it's, well, they can't say when they start to tap into them higher selves, or they do meditation or they get a sign, they start to question what's coming in. And if you find as an empath or somebody who's very highly intuitive, if you're tapping into higher self and you're self-doubting what it is that your higher self is saying to you, let it go and go back and revisit it again the next day or later that night. Because if it was ego, spirit will not be in your head, in your face, throwing you sign after sign after sign after sign if it's not truth. So signs and synchronicities are huge with what we're going through right now. And believe me, they keep you in check. Sometimes they're a little overwhelming because every time you turn around, there's another sign being thrown at you. But it's your higher self saying, you're on track. Here you go. Keep you on track. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. So that you don't allow the boys to take over when you're going through this. So, when you're going out, say you're guided, this happens to me all the time. I'll be just doing whatever. And all of a sudden I get guided, you got to go get milk, or you got to take the dog for a walk, or, you got to get in the car and go here. And I'll say to my higher self, really? And if it's still there, then I will do whatever higher self is doing, but it's for a reason. And it might be that I just need to go and, get some dog food from organic garage. And while I'm standing there in line waiting to pay, the person in front of me is in a very, dark place. And I can just sit there and I can blast my love at this person without saying anything. Because again, this is energy, my friends, and you have the ability to be able to send love to all those around you. And, this has happened to me many a times, especially in the grocery store. This happened to me once where the woman who was paying didn't have enough money. So the cashier started getting angry. The person behind her was getting angry, and I'm sitting there going, whoa. So I could tell the woman was embarrassed. So I just looked at the cashier as everybody's huffing and puffing and carrying on, and I'm sending love. And I hand her a $20 bill, and I said, will this cover this woman's groceries? She said, oh, absolutely. It's only $3 short. And I said, you know what? I'll pay for it. And everybody in line looked at me and said, oh my gosh. And the woman looked at me and said, oh my gosh, may God always give you, blessings and love and be with you. And I said, honey, believe me, I understand. And she looked at me and she said, how? I said, because I'm a medium. And the woman started crying. And everybody else in line, they perked up, they got really nice, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. But everyone there who allowed their vibrations to be lowered because this woman was a couple of dollars short to pay for the groceries to feed her family, they all started freaking out. And all I did was give them, $5 at the end of the day or something to pay for that. And now she was able to go home and have a nice meal with her children. And I know that I just didn't make her day or make her week. I probably made her month. And this is the kind of stuff that's out there, my friends. If you're able to, that's paying it forward. Please know that if you pay it forward, it will come back to you. It's just like when people go through, coffee, Tim Hortons, and they go through and they pay for the person behind them. And it makes their day. How much did you spend? $1.80, $2 or something? It's not a big deal. So I feel that what Spirit's trying to say right now is really, it's the giving and receiving is so important. And, if you go somewhere and there's a charity box and you believe in the charity and you've got change that's being given back to you, really, do you really need that change in your pocket that badly? Because if you don't, put it in the charity box, because again, that's you helping humanity and the universe will give back to you. Believe me. That $2 that you just put into that box, or 90 cents or 50 cents or whatever, will come back tenfold. So it's really important that you keep in tune with this, my friends, and realize that the universe is here to work with us. So when you tap into your higher self, as soon as those boys come out and they start to beat you up and they want you to think this and think that and say, oh no, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. Just take a deep breath, shine your light, and walk away from that moment and go back and revisit what you were just dealing with to see if the boys can still get you the same way, or if this truly is your higher self leading you where you need to go. So, the balance is, again, 100% body, mind. This is about body, mind, and spirit, so that the soul can really get rewired with what we're going through, because it is a body, mind, and spirit rewiring that we're going through. So if you get caught in 5D land too much, your 3D reality will start to fall apart, my friends. You cannot be in la la land 24/7. It's just not possible. So, I mean, it is possible, but I mean, I don't assume you'd be having a very exciting life.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things that I suggest, if you're doubting your higher self, or you're doubting your psyche, you can ask your guides for a sign to confirm what you're thinking, or to ask for guidance. This is what your guides and your guides around you are there for. They're there to help you if you're in a state of confusion. Don't ask for a sign for every single thing that you want to do or you wish to do, or every decision that you're making. But if it's something that's to do with somebody that you care about, or a situation in your life, ask for a specific sign, put it out to the universe, and if it comes back, you know that it's positive or negative, depending on whether you ask the question in the right way. But as Carrie was saying, the signs and synchronicities are there in your life situation. They are there. They're in your face. Love slaps are there. They're coming back at you. What you are giving out is coming back to you. It doesn't need to come back to you in the same way. Give $1 doesn't mean to say you're going to get $10 back. You'll get something back that's not necessarily of intrinsic value, because we're so caught up with this link to money. Love comes back in many different ways. It can come back from an animal that comes next to you the next morning and it wants you to stroke it. This is love. You sharing your love. That animal sharing its love with you.
Yeah.
We're all in tune, and we're all, my house is surrounded by stray cats because I feed them. They're not my cats, but I feed them. Why? Because I'm not going to put the food in the bin. I'll give it to the cats because they eat it. That's the beauty of sharing.
Yeah. We'll be back shortly with another message from Bradley.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
What if living didn't have to be so serious?
What if you could move beyond your problems with greater confidence and ease than you've ever imagined?
Throw your labels out the window and join the Irreverent Therapist for practical tips and a very different way of approaching the changes you would like to create.
Marilyn Bradford
and Pam Hodling
have empowered hundreds of people to come out of self-judgment, quit looking to experts, and begin to create the lives they desire.
Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Irreverent Therapist Show.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Vibe Nation Radio is brought to you by Carrie Turcotte and Dean Thomas. Each week we bring a refreshing outlook to lifting the veils of illusion that occur in our daily lives. We will share our own learnings and personal experience that allow others to understand who they truly are.
At the end of each show, Carrie will be tapping into the listeners' energies just to give an idea of what to expect for the week ahead. So join us each Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and together we will discover the inner keys that will unlock the true you.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Okay, so here we are. We're back again. And while we were at commercial, Bradley came in fairly strongly to tell me what he'd like to share with all of you who are listening in this week for Vibe Nation Radio. So let me just, you can hear the song. There we go. So what he's saying to me is that we're at such a pivotal time right now that it is important for us to shoot out that which we truly desire, that there's still a lot of people listening to the show right now that are still conforming to that which is of the old because they're frightened or afraid of the unknown. And it's kind of like he's saying that in some way that spiritual female energy that it's coming through a lot of people they're getting lost. It's kind of like they don't know where they're going, what they're doing. They may be feeling sorry for themselves because it's getting caught into the 5D energies and it's not actually shifting over into your 3D reality, which is the masculine side. So it's kind of like he's saying it's time for people to stand up and allow that true source energy to shine. So, see yourself as that strong, solid person, that person that you are who you are, and that regardless of what level you're at in the ascension right now, you bring something to the table, that you will be drawn to those that need to hear your words. I might run into somebody into a store myself. It's not like I'm going to jump out and all of a sudden start speaking Carrie language to them because they probably think I had 12 heads. But, they might say something that's very simple that is, second nature to me, but very new to them. So he's just trying to say, do not assume that the person that comes to you for help is going to look at you like you got 12 heads. They're coming to you for a reason. And this is going to allow your higher self to get in tune with who you truly are, because you're going to see that you actually are appreciated for the words that you just shared, the love you just shared. And it's kind of like they're saying, get rid of that 2-step forward, 3-step back, 2-step forward, 3-step back vibration. This is about you knowing that you have a beautiful team physically here with you, around you, as well as a beautiful team up above that really wants to work with you to be able to co-create this. And they're saying, expect the unexpected. Go out and have some fun. And when you go out there, and this is for everyone. They're saying, really allow that spiritual feminine energy to shine. Allow that femininity to come out to you. So if there's men listening to this, tell someone that you love them or tell them they look beautiful, and it's okay to show your emotions. I feel like Bradley's just trying to say that a lot of people are suppressing their emotions and they're not allowing their emotions to be able to go with the flow with what's going on with these energies right now. So I just feel that if you can start telling the universe what you truly desire through your dynamic trio, the words and thoughts and feelings, I do feel by the end of this week, over the weekend, you're going to be shocked with what comes out. And if somebody calls you or sends you a message and says, hey, let's go here last minute, go. They're saying it's going to lead to fun adventures that are going to help you get in tune with who you truly are as a soul. So there you go. There's the reading for the week. And why I've got him in full swing here. I just want everybody who's listening just to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to take a very deep breath through your nose coming from your navel. So breathe in. And now release through your mouth. Do it again. Breathe in. And release. Now I just want you to focus on the energy that you're feeling in your body as this is happening. How you're starting to feel those energies to feel tingly within you. And Bradley's just saying, just feel this breath within you. Allow yourself to open up to the energies around you right now and just feel the love that is here on Gaia. That not too many people right now take the time to stop and truly tap in to the love that is vibrating throughout Gaia right now. It's not like you have to, when I say you have to tap in, it's not like you have to jump up in the air to tap into this energy. It's not above you, my friends. It's right here with you. It's all these energies are intertwined as one here on Gaia. So if you can take a deep breath and find yourself just for a few moments, he's saying, do this because you will feel the love all around you. And if you speak with angels, call in Archangel Michael. He's got navy blue energy to protect you and feel the protection coming over you. And if it's Archangel Michael, if you want to call in healing energy, call in Archangel Raphael. and he has green emerald light. So if you take another breath right now, again, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now we're calling in Archangel Michael to protect you with these energies. You're going to feel yourself bubbled in his navy blue energy. And just feel that protection energy right now. Feel it for all that it is. Now we're going to call in Archangel Raphael to surround you with his green emerald light. And I want you to feel how Archangel's love and energy of healing makes you feel. Just feel that. So, I almost guarantee every single person who's listening right now is feeling a lot calmer and more in tune with themselves. And again, this is just something very simple and easy that I'm being guided to share with all of you so that when you have those moments, maybe you're out in the store or you're at work and all of a sudden you're wigging out on this energy. Stop, close your eyes, take a breath, focus from your navel, in through your nose, out through your mouth for a few times, call in those couple of archangels, and watch how beautiful you feel after a couple of minutes of just looking after yourself. So, there you go, Dean. How do you feel?
Chilled.
It's like, I think I could take a nap now. Awesome.
Absolutely. Let's go to sleep. Well, it's nearly bedtime for me. It's 10 o'clock here. But no, I think it is this balance of the mind. Also, we really have to learn to stop thinking, because our mind our brain is such a powerful machine that it really does screw up our lives. And this is one of the things that I certainly try to teach. And many philosophers and psychologists, psychoanalysts around the world also try to teach you to switch off the mind, put it on ice, and allow yourself to feel yourself, to get in touch with yourself. And that's not about touching your body or do anything like that, just really feeling how your body sits on its skeleton, how it feels and how you feel about it, and accept it for all that it is, because you are the most beautiful, loving being under the sun. You are. You are that. You are all that you are. And you are love. And you are worthy to share that love. And you are worthy to receive love. And that includes self-love. And, we can all have these crazy ego thoughts about jealousy and rivalry and all of these other thoughts. This is not from a position of love. We need to love ourselves to allow these lower vibrations, these lower emotions to dissipate. And this all begins with ourselves. As soon as we become content with ourselves and content with what we're doing, accepting all for what it is, surrendering to the unknown, surrendering to whatever outcome comes your way or my way or Carrie's way. This is what we do on a daily basis. We accept it for what it is, because it is what it is. And we are who we are. There is nothing about that we can change. Our destiny is foretold. We just have to meander our way through and get to where we're going. And that doesn't mean to say we need to be wealthy. Doesn't mean to say we need to drive a brand new car or live in a brand new house. We can live in a cardboard box and still be happy. And this is one thing that we as a species have forgotten. We can be happy in a wooden shack, living on a hectare of land, living off the land. We take from the land, we put back into the land, we rejuvenate that land. We need to rejuvenate ourselves also. We need to give ourselves our time for us. And if that means sitting down in a corner for an hour listening to music or chilling in a bath or any of these things, this is what we deserve for ourselves. And we have to appreciate all that we are, to be able to appreciate other things and to be able to appreciate another human being. And, our whole concept of relationships is really skew with. We're told that a relationship needs to be like this and it has to be like that. A relationship doesn't have to be this way at all. It is what you and another person agree it should be between you, not one trying to control the other. And we really do have to release this need to control, because this is what society has told us. You need to be in control of this. You need to be in control of that. You need to be in control of your life. Well, sorry guys, screw you. I don't need to be in control of anything. I'm following my destiny and I'm following my path. I'm on my Christopher Columbus journey. Allow me to live my journey, please, because this is why I'm here. And if that means I give love and peace and harmony to others, That's my calling and that's my purpose. The same as it's Carrie's.
Yep.
Your purpose is your purpose. But if you take away the superfluous bullshit that's surrounding you, you will find the true you. And that is what you shall become. Yep. And that is inevitable. You will become what you're supposed to become. You can fight it, you can resist it, but eventually you will become what you're supposed to be.
Yeah. And that kind of goes into with what we're going to be talking about next week as well, that it's helping you shifting the balance of energies within you. And this really goes with the energy shift that's about to take place tomorrow. So remember, we've got the new moon, we got the solar eclipse, and this is really a time for you to break free from karmic energies that no longer serve your soul any purpose. Be grateful that it took place. Be grateful that you're wiser because of the experience, and know that this new chapter it's actually not the new chapter, it's the first chapter of the new book. We are now in that. So please, again, if you're still working on the old book, finish off the last chapter and move forward, because we are shifting our energies, and we will talk about that next week. So, Dean, I just want to say another beautiful show, my friend.
Thank you. Love you too. See you soon. See you next week.
Love everyone, and have a wonderful week. And remember, the love starts with you. You're more powerful than you realize. And once you realize that love inside of you, it will have a ripple effect on everyone around you, and it will travel throughout the world. Enjoy, my friends. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your conscious connection to a more